This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Thursday means it's Fishbowl Thursday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and we have a super spicy standard list to check out today. This is Abzan Armageddon. Comes to us from Omega Shift. So thank you to Omega Shift for sending in a super fun looking deck. A quick reminder before we break down Abzan Armageddon for standard. If you'd like your own deck considered for a future Fishbowl Thursday, make sure to leave a link in the comments, or you can email me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. Anyway, let's talk Abzan Armageddon. So this is a deck build around Fall of the Thran, our standard Armageddon. So 6 mana, yes, a little bit expensive, but comes into play, destroys all lands. The problem with Fall of the Thran is over the next 2 turns, people get to return land. So it's not really a true Armageddon because our opponent's going to end up with 4 lands back on the battlefield. However, we have some tricks to turn Fall of Thran into a real Armageddon where no one's going to have any lands. And then we also have some tricks so we can better function and play the game of Magic without having lands than our opponent can, to kind of break the symmetry of the Armageddon effect. So that is the main plan of this deck. Our first way of kind of comboing with Fall of the Thran is pretty simple. Remorseful Cleric, 2 mana flyer, which is already a fine deal, but the bigger deal here is you could sacrifice Remorseful Cleric to exile all the cards from target player's graveyard. So our plan is to just get down a Remorseful Cleric in the early game, chip it for some flying damage, and then on the turn when we Fall of Thran, we can just sacrifice Remorseful Cleric, exile our opponent's graveyard. They can't get back lands each turn because they don't have any lands in their graveyard, while we get back lands for the next 2 turns. So the end result is going to be our opponent down to 0 lands. We're going to be back up to 4 lands after a couple of turns, so we're still functioning and playing the game when our opponent can't really do anything at all. Our other sweet new trick is Vraska Golgari Queen. So Vraska might not be the most obvious combo with Fall of the Thran, but basically the trick here is we can use that +2 to sacrifice any permanent to sacrifice our Fall of the Thran on the turn it comes into play. So it's 6 mana, blow up all lands. If we sack it to Vraska, we get to draw a card and gain a life, and the second 2 lore counters are never going to happen, turning it into a real Armageddon. Plus, we got a Vraska on the battlefield, so we can kill something the next turn, take up towards that ultimate and win the game, sacrifice more stuff to gain more life, draw more cards, maybe more lands to rebuild in the future. So those are the 2 main combos with Fall of the Thran. Then we have some ways to kind of break the symmetry of Fall of the Thran. The Mending of Dominaria and Crucible of Worlds let us get lands back from our graveyard. So if we manage to blow up all the lands, our opponent not going to have any resources, but we can rebuild really quickly with Mending of Dominaria, reanimating all our lands from the graveyard to the battlefield. So we just get everything back. Crucible of Worlds just lets us play lands from our graveyard. So every turn we're making our land drop. Our opponent's desperately hoping to draw lands off the top of our deck. So we're going to pull ahead because we have that consistent source of mana when our opponent does not. We also have a bunch of ways to just find our lands. District Guide tutors out a land, leaves a body on the battlefield. We can sack it to Vraska eventually. Dryad Greenseeker finds us lands off the top of our deck. Wayward Swordtooth lets us play extra lands, which isn't bad, and then eventually turns into a 5/5 beatdown. But these cards are just another way where we have already decent effects on their own, like District Guide, a good card. Dryad Greenseeker, a reasonable card, kind of catching on in standard. Wayward Swordtooth, it's a card, but they're already reasonable on their own, and they help us break the symmetry just in this small way of making sure that once we blow up all the lands, we are going to hit our land drops when our opponent probably is not. Plus, they help us ramp into our Fall of the Thran, play our Fall of the Thran a little bit early within the case of Wayward Swordtooth, or at least make sure we play it on time by hitting our land drops with District Guide and Dryad Greenseeker. Llanowar Elves just ramps us into Fall of Thran, and is a mana source that stays behind on the battlefield after Fall of the Thran, so even though all the lands are blown up, we still have mana, our opponent doesn't. The other Another sweet card in this deck is Sulama Woodshaper, which is kind of this weird Tutor-esque effect. When it enters battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library, you can grab a creature or enchantment, so this means we can find our random Dryad Green Seekers, find our random Llanowar Elves, but we can also find both of our sagas. So this is a way we can make sure that we find our Fall of the Thran consistently every game, even though we only have 3 copies, which is because Fall of the Thran's a bit expensive, and we don't want to get overloaded with too many in our opening hand, but this helps us dig and find them on time to cast them, helps us find Mending of Dominaria too, so kind of gets both of our key combo pieces. Otherwise, Ajani Adversary Tyrants, good value Planeswalker, Vraska kind of our big finisher, making pirates, blowing stuff up. It can also be another way to blow up Fall of the Thran, kind of the same trick as the new Vraska. We can -3 to hit our own Fall of the Thran. Mana base wise, Memorial of Unity and Field of Ruin give us a couple of interesting lands. Memorial digging for a creature, Field of Ruin to deal with Escantas and the like. Some shock lands, some check lands, some basic lands. In the sideboard for control, we have Carnage Tyrant to fight through counter spells. The Eldest Reborn gives us just kind of a 3-for-1 on a stick, eventually reanimating something sweet. Duress to attack our opponent's hand. For aggro, Knight of Autumn to give us some life gain. Ritual of Soot and Cleansing Nova as sweepers. Cruel Harpooner to deal with those Crackling Drakes and Lyras and Aurelias running around. And that is Abzan Armageddon for Standard. And that's been our instant deck tech for today. So again, thank you so much to Omega Shift for sending it in. The deck looks super fun. And if you want your own deck considered for a future Fishbowl Thursday, leave me that link in the comments, or you can email me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.